This week on the podcast, Carrie and I are talking about solo travel to Walt Disney World. Would you ever go by yourself? Carrie and I are sharing our top 5 reasons why we think it's a good idea. Stay tuned to hear what they are. You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started.
Hey, Fran.
Hey, Carrie. How are you?
All good.
All good? You started it this week.
I thought, why not?
Why not?
I thought I'd give you a bit of a break.
Why not try something different?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
what
nice
are we
to
talking
see you.
about this week?
It's nice to see you. Oh, we're just jumping right in like you're like, no, enough of the pleasantries. We're just
I
we're
figured
just done.
We could talk about that afterwards once we.
Okay. This week, so remember last week, so we got some good feedback about last week's episode, getting to know Fran and Carrie. People seem to, they seem to enjoy it, which is kind of fun. I don't know. I don't find us that interesting, but apparently they do. It's kind of cool. But last week we were talking about questions, and then there was a question from VooBug on Instagram. And so with a V, Victor Bug on Instagram asked, why are you laughing at me? Do you recommend a solo Walt Disney World trip? And if so, what do I need to know? And when we got that question, we were like, that's a whole episode.
Could be. We'll see if it is.
Well, we'll see.
Because at the end, and if we run it, if it runs short, I'll be like, so it's good to see ya.
Then we're gonna do the small talk. Ay. Okay, so we talked about it. I think we have 5 reasons why a solo trip is good. So we've both done solo trips.
Yeah. You love them. I'm like, meh.
I do love them. I've done quite a few of them. Usually, though, my solo trips are I go down before people and then meet up with people, or I stay after they leave. But I did last year. I did a month by myself. So that was like the longest solo trip, obviously, I've had. But so I love them, and you're like not so crazy about them. So why don't we start with why you're not so crazy about them?
Well, I think probably some of that might come up with the
list of why,
the list or whatever. I definitely can see the benefits of it, so I'm not going to say that they're not good to do, but it just depends on
right. But we need to of course address like what you don't necessarily love about them.
Just being alone for all those days without anybody to talk to.
But that's what, like, video chat, phone calls, there's people in the parks, cast members. Like, don't you chat to them?
I don't know.
Not really? Not really?
No. Anyways,
okay, well, it'll come up as we go through them.
This is a positive, exciting, why it's great to have a...
It is, but it's important to set... Trip. It's important to set expectations. So we do have 5 reasons that we think because you agree with these.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
That we think solo travel is awesome to Walt Disney World. Or I haven't done a solo to Disneyland. Only Walt Disney World. So that's my caveat. But I would assume that Disneyland would be the same. Carrie's done solo to Disneyland. Okay, so the number 1 reason for solo travel. You get to pick your own dates, including like flight times and everything.
You don't have to coordinate it with anybody else or get anybody's approval or 2 cents or choices. You can just do whatever days you want and whatever flights you want.
So this is kind of a theme for me that I don't like planning in advance, any of that kind of thing. And this podcast is going to make me sound really selfish. But I swear I'm not. But in this solo travel experience, it's almost like you have permission to be selfish. Where if you're traveling by yourself, I can pick the dates that I want to go that suit my work, my personal life, my obligations, and I don't have to worry that they fit with someone else's. Like, I don't have to coordinate and negotiate any of that. I can just say, what works for me is leaving at 8 p.m. on Thursday night and coming back on Tuesday morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I use that as an example because I did that on one of my solo trips where I went to work that day. I worked out of one of our offices near the airport. I got on an 8 p.m. flight and spent the whole weekend there and flew back on the 6 a.m. flight. And I was back in that office like Tuesday morning. Spent one vacation day. So it was perfect. So I think that's a huge plus to solo travel is that you don't have to negotiate any of that.
And I like travel. Like, I don't mind flying and traveling, the actual traveling by myself. I do that quite often because I would fly to meet people, like meet my Disney friends because they're coming from a different location or they're already there or whatever. I'm all cool with traveling by myself. I fly around the world all by myself. Get my little rolly squeaky bag. I'm good to go.
That brings us to number 2 on the list of solo travel is you get to pick your own choice of transportation, meaning you can choose whether you're driving to Walt Disney World or flying. You can decide whether you're going to rent a car there or just take the bus everywhere, or you're going to Uber it everywhere and not step foot on a bus or a Skyliner or anything.
See, yeah, I guess when I saw that as the second point, like I was kind of making the assumption that you were talking about like when you're at Walt Disney World. Like not so much how you're going to get there, but more like, when you're there, if you don't like taking the buses, you don't ever have to take the bus if you don't want to take the bus.
Yeah. So, I kind of lump transportation all together, meaning do you drive or fly to Disney? But you're saying the bus thing because I love the fact that when you get to Walt Disney World, all the transportation's included. You can get from your resort to the parks. I love all of that. I do not like the bus. I don't take the bus at home. I don't want to take the bus in Walt Disney World. I just don't like the bus. I don't like having to go stand at the bus stop and wait 15 minutes and not know when I'm going to get there. And at the end of the night, being on a bus, like trying to figure out when I'm going to leave the park so that I can avoid the crowd, getting on the bus, lining up for the... I don't like it.
Do you find, like, and even if you were traveling with a group of people, for everyone to agree on what to do, or if they want to pay for a Uber, or they want to pay for a minivan, or they love the bus or whatever, like, sometimes you're just like, whatever, and you just, like, of course I'm kind of a go with the flow, I'll do whatever, but yeah, you kind of have to make sure everybody you're traveling with is kind of cool to follow the same plans, right? And some people love the buses and they don't want to not take them. But when I don't know if I said this on a podcast talking about my one of my last trips, but we left before the fireworks from Magic Kingdom, so it's pretty late at night, and we're waiting for the bus, and we obviously got out to the bus. We were going back to Port Orleans, and we must have just missed it because we had to wait for quite a while. But it took I think I might have said this, it took maybe an hour and 15 minutes to get home in the end after we waited and got the whatever, maybe an hour-ish. But honest to goodness, even if we waited 15 or 20 minutes for that bus, it felt like eternity. I would have paid $100 for, maybe not $100. I would have paid $50 at that point for a minivan, to get home or whatever. I was like, we should have just walked over to the Contemporary and got a lift. But I'm like, no, when you're like, I'm like, whatever, yeah, cool, let's just take the bus. And we just go, like, I just go with the flow. But and sometimes the buses are great, but then there's those times where I'm like, oh, what I would do to just.
Yes. And it's the hit and miss of it. 50%, 60%, 70% of the time, the bus is fine. But for me, it's that 30% where you just miss the bus, or you got to wait 20 minutes or 30 minutes or even longer, especially at the end of the night. Like, we waited one night at Animal Kingdom. I can't even tell you how long it was. Like, it was so long that we were the only ones left on the bus platform. And the guy walked up to us and said, "I'm going to call you a bus." So, and I don't know, that was before minivans, but so I'm scarred from way back then. But when I'm there by myself, I don't have to worry about that. So I can choose to like stay in the Magic Kingdom and then walk over to the Contemporary and grab an Uber. Or a lot of times when I was on the solo trip by myself, I would stay in Epcot until the end, and then I would walk over to the beach club and get an Uber. I think I was maybe in that month on the bus maybe 5 times in the month.
And you could take the bus whenever you wanted to.
Yeah. And a lot of times I took it from when I was staying at, where was I staying?
You stayed at 3 places.
Yeah.
Coronado?
When I was at Coronado, I took the bus because A, it was really the only one. But B, I found their bus times were really accurate in the app. So I took the bus going to the parks from Coronado because I could see the bus stop from my window. So I checked to see if it said it was coming at 3:12. It generally came within minutes of that. So, yeah. So I didn't mind that. So yes, that's a fantastic thing about you can choose. I don't know how many
people are going to think that choosing your transportation is a valid why to go on a solo trip point, but
it is when you depending on who you vacation with too. Right? Because some people love the bus. And when you vacation with people like that, then you got to negotiate.
Well, and I think it's like you can just choose, like, I think it's just that you can choose whatever the heck you want it to do, right? Even if you love the bus and you want to take the bus all the time, you get to the bus on your time schedule, you decide, if you want to stay till the end of till after, parks closed and wait an hour, like you can do whatever the heck you want and you just go to your bus and you're just
no
skipping negotiations
over all 3,
or whatever.
4, and 5.
You're just doing whatever. So
so number 3 is you get to pick what resort. It's all you. Your sole decision where you're going to stay.
You could stay somewhere new.
Yes.
You could stay somewhere you've always wanted to stay or you could splurge. Because maybe you're not going to spend as much on this trip because you're not paying for your entire family to have park tickets and restaurant and dining.
Yeah. You could do split stays. You could stay in more than one place. If you're only packing up your own stuff instead of your whole family, it might be easier to do a split stay. To your point, to splurge at a place. Maybe it's only for a couple days, but you get to go and stay someplace that you've always wanted to stay. Yeah.
Make your family jealous if they've... How come Mom stayed at the Grand Floridian and we just get to stay at Pop?
Exactly. And think about it. Like in the resort, you have the whole vanity to yourself. You can pick which bed you want to sleep in.
You can take all the drawers.
You could take all the drawers. You can leave your stuff all over the place, or you could keep it all tidy and there's nobody there to mess it up for you.
Yeah, because I think like some families, I would think the room would be a bit of a disaster. So you can keep it all nice and tidy.
So you never need to worry about that if you're there by yourself. You can have all your shopping stacked in one spot to go through later, or spread it all out on the other bed if you want. You have so much freedom in the resort. You can stock the fridge in your resort with whatever you want. You could get some groceries, some snacks, some things for the room that only you like. Well, you think about it. There's some people they have spouses where their spouse is vegan and they aren't, or vegetarian. Like I know I have a friend. His spouse is, I think, I think she's vegan, but he's like a big meat eater. If he went by himself,
you just sit and eat pepperoni sticks
all day, every day.
You could have boxes of pepperoni sticks in the room. The room could just smell like a big pepperoni pizza, and he could just sit on the bed at night after a long day at the parks and eat pepperoni sticks.
Exactly. Or you think, like, Carrie, think about it. If you have kids with allergies and you never get to eat peanut butter, if you're away, right? I know somebody people like that. We know people like that. You never get to eat peanut butter. You're never allowed to be in the vicinity of any peanuts at home. But you go on a solo trip, you could have a whole jar in your room if you wanted.
Yeah.
See?
Bring on the Nutella.
Benefits to your choice of resort, but then also your choice of food. That was number 4 that we had, which restaurants you eat in. Like, do you want to eat quick service all the time? Do you want to have sit-down table service meals all the time? How did you feel about eating alone?
I don't like eating alone.
That's it. Like, I don't like eating alone.
No. Like, or you eat alone and you play with your phone or you chat with somebody while you're eating. Like, I'm just not. Or you
enjoy your food.
Yeah, a little bit, but like, I just want to have. I kind of like I'm weird. Like.
I'm the weird one.
Even with like hanging, like even when I'm at a park, even if I'm with people and we don't have to say anything, it's just that somebody's there with you. Like even dining, like not like we're if you and I are sitting at the park and we're sitting at Disneyland and we're eating in a quick service, we might not be like. Chatting so much it takes us 4 hours to eat, but it's just that somebody is there. Like, it's just to have somebody there with you.
When do we ever sit and not talk?
But we could just be chit-chatting. Like, it's not like...
I'm just thinking, when was the last time Carrie and I sat down in silence?
Oh, I think there's lots of times. When we're in the theme parks, we're just, like, sitting there, like...
Maybe.
But anyways, it's just the company, I think, for me, too. Like, it's not so much that, I can't sit still and not say something or be quiet. It's more like, I just like to know that the company is there, that I'm sharing the experience with somebody.
Right.
Like, you don't have to say anything, but it's sharing the experience. Especially something that's new. Like, I want to share a new experience with somebody to have that memory with them.
See, and... yeah. And you know I love to travel with you, so don't take it personally, but I do. She's shaking her head at me.
No, none taken, don't worry.
When you said new, when one of my solo trips was right when Be Our Guest opened, and I managed to get a reservation for lunch, and it was the quick service lunch. And I was in line to get in for quick service. And this is the thing. When you solo travel, like people worry about going solo and thinking, oh, I'm going to stick out. People are going to look at me. You have no idea how many people are there by themselves until you're there by yourself and you notice them all. And I was in line to get in to Be Our Guest. And there was another girl who was there solo too. And we started chatting in the line. And I got it, Carrie... We talked for maybe
Facebook
10 or 15
friends with her?
No, seriously, like 10 or 15 minutes we were chatting in the line, and all I kept thinking to myself, this sounds horrible, was I don't want to sit with her. Like how do I break away so that I can go in and enjoy this experience and focus on all the details and really savor the food and all of that. Like I didn't want to sit with her. Like, I wanted to be by myself. And maybe I'm the weird one.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. So back to the food, though. If you're there by yourself, you could eat, like, a pretzel for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then have popcorn for dessert, and nobody's there to judge you.
Exactly. You could have 2 cupcakes with every meal. If you could go to Sprinkles and order 4 cupcakes and they think you have 3 friends at home. But honestly, like going by yourself and eating in the restaurants, quick service is so easy because like you could just find a table wherever you want. But even some of the sit down restaurants, going there by yourself, even if you're uncomfortable to sit at a table by yourself, a lot of them, you could sit at the bar. Like, they have bars that you could sit at and
talk to the bartender?
Talk to the bartender. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, dear.
You're laughing, but I'm telling you, you absolutely. California Grill. There's quite a few. Over at Wilderness Lodge, the outdoor one, you could sit at the bar there. There's lots of them where it's not like you're out, like you're the center of attention, that you're sitting there by yourself.
I don't think that when I was away I wouldn't go anywhere. I wouldn't go to a table service. I would just do quick service and snacks probably. I wouldn't probably go sit in a restaurant by myself because I would think, why bother? I got nobody to talk to. I gotta say, for me with my solo trip, I think you're right. I think when you're at Walt Disney World, you see lots of people that are on a solo trip. And I think that's more normal. And I think I might be more comfortable at Walt Disney World because there's more to see and do. There's resort hopping.
Yes.
There's a lot to keep to be like, ooh, I haven't been there in a while. Like, even if I said, okay, well, let's just think about things that I really wanted to do for a while, that would keep me busy and I may not think about it. But at Disneyland, like, there are people that are there solo, but like everybody else is there, like walking down the street hand in hand. Everybody's on a date. Everybody's with a friend. Like, there's a lot of couples and BFFs and really in like, you really feel like you're the only loser there that doesn't have anybody with you.
I got Franny no friends.
Like, you see people, like, you see the odd person, but then, like, you see, like, their spouse runs up and then they grab hands and they walk down the street and you're like, or, like, the people that are there alone are like vloggers or social media influencers, and they're doing their business. They're not there, like, they got work to do. They're not like me, like, I'm all alone.
But that's the thing. People don't know whether you're alone or whether the person you're traveling with is back at the resort not feeling well. They're in a gift shop somewhere. They're on a ride somewhere.
I don't know. I don't think they think that. I think they're like, who comes to Disneyland alone?
Really? I don't worry about that. I need to try. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it either. Disneyland,
but when I'm like sitting on the park bench, like thinking, boy, I wish I had somebody to talk to. I look around and I'm like, everybody's got a best friend with them, and
but then you can pick up your phone and video chat with someone.
That's kind of weird. Like,
not really. You took me on lots of shopping adventures when you were on your solo trip.
Yeah, but
that was fun.
But then I'm also like, I also feel like I have to, like, I'm taking whoever I'm calling, I'm taking their time. Like, does Maya Carroll really want to spend her night video chatting with me, keeping me company? Maybe she has something else to do. And then the 3-hour time change. I'm like, oops, my bad. You guys are in bed. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the opposite. Like, I was getting text messages from are you okay? We haven't heard from you.
No.
Yes, I'm enjoying the quiet.
Well, yeah.
The food though is really important. Like, you can eat at places. So if you have like a very adventurous palate, you could go and eat at places that maybe your family doesn't like.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of...
Yeah, I think the food is a big one. Like, you think of all, like, just being able to do whatever you want. Like, if you really don't care about sitting down at restaurants all the time, like, you could snack your way around the world, maybe with your people that you're traveling with, even friends. Like, maybe you might do it a little bit, but if you really wanted to go and be like, I'm going to eat everything from a booth at the Food and Wine, then nobody's stopping you from doing it. And if you don't do it, it's just your own fault. Because
exactly. And how many times have you been on vacation with people and you're like, oh, there's somebody who breakfast is like their favorite meal of the day. And the other person, they're like, oh, I never eat breakfast. And like, even just trying to work out when everybody's hungry, when you're going to eat. Do you want to stop here? Do you want to stop there? It just, I find that I'm much more adventurous with different food things when I'm by myself because I'm not on anybody's schedule. And I don't have to worry if anybody is hungry or not, just me.
Yeah.
And then you can stop for 700 bottles of water if you need to, and there's nobody there to say, did you just finish that bottle of water? Didn't you just open it? Look, I haven't even opened mine yet.
And it's like, do you know how much money you spend on water every day?
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about any of that on a solo trip.
One thing I do like about a solo trip and traveling by myself is having like a room and sleeping in silence and having no interruptions. That's a good one.
Yes, well,
back to the resort.
Back to the resort ones. For somebody with pets, that's a huge one for you, right? Children. Children that wake you up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, no interruptions, like just peace and quiet, or until the dance party's done outside your room or whatever, then peace and quiet. You still wake up bright and early when, your cat usually like greets you good morning, but then you're just like, but that's it.
Yeah.
There's no cat here.
You get to sleep on your own schedule.
Yeah, big comfy bed all by yourself.
Yeah. Makes a big difference, doesn't it? Now Carrie's like, maybe I'm not giving this enough of credit. Carrie always goes on about the beds in the resorts, like especially her Marriotts. When Carrie stays at a Marriott, she's always going on and on about the bed. Because
they're awesome. They're better than Disney beds, but
you really think better. So?
Absolutely. For sure. For sure. A Marriott and a JW Marriott bed? Absolutely better than a Disney
I gotta
bed.
try a JW. I don't think we did a JW on our date in Disney, Anna.
No, we just did the little guys.
The little guys? They were nice though. They were very nice. Yeah.
We need to.
Okay. So the fifth reason that you should try solo travel to Walt Disney World is, we've kind of covered it in some of the others, but it really comes down to your choice of schedule. You are on your own timetable. You get to decide what park you go to, at what time in the morning, what attraction you go on. You can just be walking by the Haunted Mansion and see there's no line and just get in it. Or you could choose to wait in line for Buzz Lightyear by yourself, even if everybody else hates the attraction. You can do whatever you want. And you can do it multiple times. And you don't have to convince anybody that it's worth it to stand in line for an hour for Peter Pan so you can see the line. I did finally get to see that in August. It was fantastic.
And I think if you're with your family and maybe, you always fight to get the kids up and get them out and get them to the parks. Like, you could wake up at 6:00, be, ready, dressed, showered, ready, breakfast done, and you be standing there tapping your toes at the gate waiting for rope drop, right? Like,
yeah. Or you could decide not to set an alarm and just go to the park when you wake up, whenever that is.
The horror,
right? You could just roll out of bed whatever time that your body naturally wakes you up and go to the park. And then you could stay there as long as you want. Till close, till after close. There's something really special about Wandering World Showcase after Harmonious, when everybody's leaving the park and it's just quiet. It's fantastic. Or you could stay at Magic Kingdom.
Yep, afterwards and
get some nice pictures.
And everything's empty. Or you can also go to a park and not ride anything, or just walk around and look at the details, or take pictures of everything, or look at every little thing in the spend so much time looking at every little thing in the store at your own time and not worrying about spending too much time in the store because the people that you're with may not want to shop or whatever.
They might not want to stand and look at pins for 3 hours.
You could do a whole lot of nothing.
Right? You could do anything you want. Like, you don't have to worry, to your point, being in stores with people. And I could spend an enormous amount of time looking at t-shirts. You could be looking at pins forever. You don't have to. We're pretty good with it because you and I could spend an hour in a store and not worry about each other because there's plenty of stuff for both of us. But depending on your travel partner, they could be tapping their feet like, what's taking her so long? And I could be just looking at my third t-shirt.
You could pack a jigsaw puzzle and stay in your room and just puzzle all day if you want to.
You could. Seriously.
Do whatever you want.
You could technically, one night you could leave the parks early, go back to your resort, find something on TV and order room service.
Yeah. Go to the spa if you've never been to the spa. Just do anything that you've always wanted to do. I think even things like, there's even things, and I guess it might be harder with the family because, like, you know, they would maybe get mad that you did certain things, but maybe go on a tour that you've always wanted to go on with your family or whatever. Hey, they never need to know, really. But
exactly.
like, you know,
just don't post it.
It's, you only have to pay for one person versus two versus three versus 4 or 5. Like, go on a tour, or I don't know. Like, there's so many things that you know, go a Wild Africa trek, or like
Keys
there's
to
all
the
kinds
Kingdom.
of things. Keys to the Kingdom. There's all kinds of things to do. That you know, maybe you've always wanted to do, but you're like, oh no, like that'll cost a fortune by the time we go, or whatever. And you could just go by yourself and just have that experience.
Yes.
But just have to pay for yourself.
It's so fantastic. Like, there are so many great reasons to travel solo to Walt Disney World. Now, Vubug did ask, what do I need to know? I think the key thing I have to tell you is if you go to Walt Disney World by yourself, nobody cares. Don't stress that you're by yourself in the store, that you're by yourself in the restaurant. Everybody's there having a vacation, having a great time. They don't care that you're alone. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody's worried about the fact that you're there by yourself. They don't care.
I'm sure most people, if you talk to strangers and said you were there by yourself, they probably think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you know, I've met so many solo travelers in my travels. I've met people that have said, I wish I had come solo, when their family was not listening. The cast members, honest to goodness, the cast members are so friendly that when you're at a quick service, even the sit down, the bartenders, everyone, they're so easy to, it's almost like they know and they look out for people that are there by themselves and they strike up conversations with you. And you don't have to be alone if you don't want to be. I think that there's just so many great things to do, but just don't stress that you're there by yourself because nobody cares.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
Yeah. I think, and a lot of people are jealous of the fact that you're there by yourself.
Yeah, maybe keep it on the down low. Just be like, my friend's over there.
Yes. Now, for women, obviously, there are, and men, there are some, so for everybody, there are some safety things that you should be aware of. You know, don't go flaunting the fact that you're alone and you're staying at Pop Century by yourself in room 242. You know, don't be flaunting that. Don't drink too much at the bars when you're there by yourself. Don't be telling your Uber drivers that you're there by yourself. You know, there's certain things that are just good practice, just to stay safe. Now, I feel incredibly safe when I'm at Walt Disney World and Disney Springs. And we didn't even talk. You can go to Disney Springs as many times as you want. But I feel incredibly safe no matter where I am on property. But there's still common sense that you should follow, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I need to book my next solo trip. I need to book. You know what? I just need to book any trip. I just need to get there. I need to get there.
You need a solo trip for sure.
I do. And then, because I'm gonna go in the summer because that's unfortunately when I can go next. And Carrie's like, yeah, I don't want to be there when it's 140 degrees.
I'm inviting myself to that one, that's for sure.
You could, like, even just for a few days, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be hot. I'll live with my cooling towel and my 700 bottles of water. You made fun of me on my solo trip because I ordered something like 100 bottles of water. And you made fun of me. You were like, there's no way, because you get all that water in the parks. And I'm like, you watch me. Yeah, and I finished them all. In fact, I think I had to have our friend bring me some water. But
yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, it's hot in the summer. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It's that when I can go, hopefully soon. So update, my sister's doing better. She's on a good trajectory. We're hoping very soon she's going to be able to stay on her own at home. And then I'm running away. I'm running far away. And then I'm out of here. So, yeah, once we get to that, which I'm hoping is sometime in July, might be August. But, yeah, I'm going to be out of here. And then, Carrie, from then on out, you're not going to be able to stop me. I said this during COVID, I'm not taking it for granted. And then I did. I went August and October and November. And then, boom, this happened with my sister. So now, this is it. I'm out of here.
Game on.
Yeah. You wait and see. I don't know where I'll stay or what I'll do. But because you know me, I'm last minute. So it doesn't matter.
Well,
I'll just, whatever. I just go online and see what's available and whatever.
When you had mentioned that before, like earlier when you're saying, how we're all last minute and whatever, like, I'm going to tell you right now that, like, post-COVID, this last minute stuff for us is going to backfire because...
I know.
It's expensive right now for flights. And,
I know.
We already know the DVC points situation is a little bit
It was
crazy.
a mess before COVID.
Well, I think it's just as bad. And
now
then,
it's worse.
The flight, we're going to pay our little last minute, we don't book anything that far in advance. We're going to pay for it. We are going to pay for it because...
I know. Well, that's why I got my WestJet MasterCard, so I'm accumulating WestJet points. And you and I got to figure out, we got to book our D23 tickets for the expo. So we've got to book our flights. I think we're sold on what dates we're going. And because of course I'm coming back for my sister's birthday, which kind of messed up our dates. But
it didn't mess up our dates. We already had them flipped.
We knew that we were going to go before the expo, so we're just going to fly home the day after the expo ends. And so we got to get our flights booked.
Yeah, because we're going to be paying a lot of money for them if we don't do it soon.
And you know me, like I'm like, why are we booking so far in advance? But given the flights to LAX are already expensive, I think we need to bite the bullet.
I think at this point, like I booked flights for August for the PIN event, and those flights to Florida probably cost what it costs to fly to LAX now. Like it's probably
wow.
So if we don't buy them soon, then we'll be paying.
Let's get her done. Get her done. Yeah.
Anyways.
But my flight to July will just be whenever I figure it out, I'll be gone like 2 days later.
There'll be nothing left. You'll be like, well, it cost me $12,000 to
fly. I don't care. I'm out of here. Woody Woodpecker. I'll be like,
but I got there. Trip was only 3 days, but I got there and I'm back.
I know. And that's the funny thing. Like after all this, given some work stuff I got going on at the Unmagical job and this, like I might only be able to go for a few days, but I don't care. And then hopefully afterwards I'm going to be able to convince my boss to let me work from there for a couple weeks so that I can just go for a good stint. I think it's time. Mm-hmm. Don't you?
And like I said, I'm not getting in your way. You need your solo trip, so
we'll video chat. You should come down for a bit though. If I'm there for a couple weeks, you should.
Well, maybe you can come and crash my August trip. I think that's probably it.
Well, that was the other thing. When we were in Dayton, you guys were talking about all your dining reservations, and I was like, I kind of like the sounds of some of those. I don't want to go to the pin event. I don't want to talk pins or pin trade or whatever. And I know I can't.
Maybe you're not invited to the pin event.
I know, whatever. I was going to, I'm not inviting, but I did invite myself to your dining reservations. Should I happen to be there at the same time? I was like, what if I just happen to get a room at Pop Century and then you guys were going to Beaches and Cream that night and I just happened to be there?
Well, we made reservations with extra people for sure. But we also, because the pin event happens right when the first Halloween party is, we always would go to a Halloween party if it aligned with the pin event.
Yes.
Like always. And we made the decision not to. because it's like the first pin event, or first Halloween party is like $150 or something crazy
so
like that
ridiculous.
Or whatever. And then the next ones are like... The annual pass holder rate's like $99 for the ones that are right after it. But we decided not to because we're exhausted from the pin event and it's on one of the nights anyways. But we decided to go to we booked the H2O Glow. Is it the H2O Glow nights?
Yes.
So
those look like fun.
Yeah. So we've never done that before. So
I think for us, we've done the Halloween party so many times and we go to Walt Disney World so often. That for me, I'm not spending $150 to go to a party. If I was talking to a family who was going every 2 years, I would say, yes, spend the money if you want to go trick or treating, you want to see the parade, all of that.
But don't you think like the draw was there because like it's been so long? Like, it was very hard to, like, it wasn't hard to say, like, we just came to that conclusion, so we're not changing our mind, it's done. But, like, that's the struggle. Like, it's been a couple of years, it's the first one back, like...
Yeah, but so it's good, you know, all I keep thinking when you say that? So it's going to be packed.
Yeah,
and maybe we were spoiled back in the day, but the first parties, that was the great thing about them, was that they weren't packed, they weren't busy. That was... You know me, I like to be positive about everything Disney, but the Halloween and Christmas parties, not for me.
All I gotta say is, boo to you and you and you and you.
I do love that parade. I do love that parade.
Anyways, but we're not going. You're not going.
But you never
know. If I happen to be there before October 31st again, I might go to another one. But on that trip, not going.
Right. But if I'm there on a solo trip, see, and maybe I would, because maybe the crowds wouldn't bother me if I was there by myself, because then I could watch the parade from wherever I wanted. Maybe. It's much easier to find a spot when it's just you.
That is that's very good too. Like, you want to swoop in and watch, like, the fireworks in front of the castle. You just kind of get into the crowd and you to wherever you want. And
when you're by yourself, it doesn't matter, as long as you don't, be courteous. Don't get in front of somebody that's been standing there 2 hours.
You know what though? Like, at Disneyland, like, I'm still like, that's the thing. Maybe matter. Because I'm by myself. Like, stop it. When I was there, when
you stand in front of somebody, they can still see you.
Was not the point I was trying to make. When I was there in November by myself, and it was Christmas time, and of course they have Christmas parades and everything Christmas for free because it's included with the price of admission. No parties required, although they did have a party, but you could still experience everything without the party. Like, I went and, like, sat and got my parade spot way too early. Like, I could have again swooped in and just peeked in wherever, or hopped in a little spot in front of somebody where, like, some tall guy's like, just go in there. But I didn't. I was like, I'll just sit here. I'll sit here with everybody else for the hour and a half.
And how wonderful was that?
It was kind of lonely because I was like, should I go running? I looked over beside me, like, do you want hot chocolate? Oh, I'm here all by myself. I can't really leave to get myself a hot chocolate.
You'll lose your spot.
Pretzel or whatever.
That is. So that's something you need to know.
You got to make friends.
You got to make friends and
my spot.
So yes, maybe I'll show up and crash your pin event dining.
It's a fun time, man.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
Crazy. Cool. All right. I hope, Voobug, you're going to have to let us know if we answered your question and how you feel about a solo trip. I think you should do it.
Yeah. Let us know if you book one.
Yeah.
Do it.
I had somebody message me on Instagram and say they went on a solo trip because they saw mine. And that I inspired them to do solo, and they were so excited to do it. Yeah. Like, just, you know what it is? It's not me inspiring them. It's just seeing someone else do it. You're kind of like, well, if they can do it, why can't I?
I think, and people would be like, it would be hard to make that decision to do it. It'd be like, should I? Should I?
Of course. Why not? Flying, airports are so much easier when it's just you. Mm-hmm. Everything is just easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah. I'm telling you. It's fantastic. And again, you can go to Sprinkles, get 4 cupcakes, and they think you have 3 friends. Yeah. Anyway. Alrighty. Carrie, it's that time of the podcast. Do you have your pixie dust? And what brought you some joy this week?
Well, my joy was that I got to hang out with a whole bunch of people I haven't seen for a while this week. My Pure Magic Vacation peeps. And on whatever night it was, Wednesday night, we got to see Lightyear together. So that was...
How was it?
It's good. I'd like to watch it again.
Oh.
It was good.
Okay, but I'm not hearing the gushing that I heard when we went to see... Encanto.
Yeah.
There's no music in Lightyear, right?
No, I don't think so. Whatever.
Now it's making sense. It's making sense.
No, it's
Encanto was a movie too.
No, but like more of like a film. It's a film about a story about Buzz Lightyear. It's not a musical. Encanto is a musical. Nowhere in the credits was Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Okay.
So, it was a good story. It had some pretty funny parts to it. But I think I was just like, because I didn't know what it was going to be about really, and I wasn't watching any spoilers, so I was really like trying to be thoughtful about like where it was going to go and what the story was. It reminds you of many other Disney / Pixar, story and feelings and whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, like I like to watch it again and pay better attention to some of the other things, and like, because like I said, I was thinking it through, and I want to watch a lot of I need to watch some YouTube videos on it. I want now that I've seen it, I need to watch some like, what
like
did this mean? What did that mean? How does it fit in the Pixar theory? I need to watch.
Pixar theory. Maybe it doesn't fit. They'll find a way to make it fit.
That's right. That's the fun of it. Like, you want to hear what they say. Like, because before we knew anything about it, they were saying well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's just interesting now that I've seen it and I know what it's about. Like, I like to watch all those things because that brings me joy too. Like, because there's so many people that like love doing that and love talking about it and digging down and being skeptical about what this means or that means, or trying to find meaning in things. Like, it kind of adds more to the experience of the movie, like to kind of see what the fans have as theories, or to see what they think of it. So, it's just like step one of the movie for me. Now I got to do all of my
your research,
my extra like
that's awesome
addendums to watching it. So, but yeah, so it was good. It was fun and connect with like people I haven't seen in like since before COVID. I haven't seen some of them in person for a long time.
Normal.
So good to see them and hug them and have little chit chats, and it was
That's
good.
awesome. Oh, good. Yeah, I saw some pictures from it. It looked like everybody had fun.
What's your pixie dust?
My pixie dust is I went to, now that I've discovered where it is and I know how easy it is to get to, there's this place called the Button Ben. It's a Scottish baker's that's really not far from me. So yeah, I've been enjoying some of their cakes and pastries, but also some of the square sausage and potato scones, and the food is just so good. So good. So I've been making a little bit of a pilgrimage or whatever. It's like, you know what? Honestly, in traffic, it was probably 25 minutes, but it's really a 10-minute drive from my house. So yeah, I'm very excited to go up to the Button Ben and get like fresh stuff, fresh cream in the eclairs.
I got two things. First, I got to ask. What'd you say? It's a square sausage, a rectangle sausage, or what sausage?
It's a square sausage. So
is
what
it
you
wrapped
do?
in pastry like a sausage roll?
No. It's like a sausage. It's just like a flat square sausage, like
a piece of that comes on a like McMuffin. That kind of sausage?
Kind of, but better. Like it's a full butcher, like it's a good butcher sausage. And you get their fresh baked rolls. And what you do is you slice it, you put HP sauce on it, you put the square sausage on after you fried it up, and then you put the potato scone on top. And it's like the perfect breakfast sandwich.
Sounds good.
It's really good.
I don't know why you call it a square sausage. It would just be a sausage.
Well, I guess. I don't know.
And my other question is, so the other day you posted that thing that looked like a flaky. Was that from the bakery?
That was from the bakery too.
Okay.
So that is...
Next time I visit, those need to be on the Mickey Mouse platters when you ask me if I'd like a treat, first of all.
Carrie, it was so good. So it was just like a flaky pastry with jam, like raspberry jam in it, and like real cream. And then it was like sugar on top that was almost like cooked sugar. Oh, it was so good.
It's like a homemade flaky.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. And their eclairs are massive. Like, we could have 4 people split that eclair. But we could, if we wanted to. Like, I don't...
There's some expectations. Yeah. You better watch before you... Next time I come for a visit...
So next time Carrie's coming for a visit, I gotta go to the Button Ben.
I don't want no Walmart treats.
No
Walmart cupcakes.
Do you know that Walmart does not have my cupcakes anymore? They do not have. Like, every time I do my order online for my groceries, I look, they don't have my cupcakes. It's very disappointing.
Remember when you learned how to make cupcakes?
I was so excited. I haven't had time recently to make cupcakes, but I should.
You make a bundt cake because it takes less time.
You and the Bund cake. I'm just so, yeah. I have so many things. My new kick though is sweet potato fries. Homemade.
Yeah.
Homemade, meaning I cut the sweet potato.
And I put them in my air fryer.
And I put them in the air fryer with some salt and pepper and I'm done.
That's good.
That's it.
Good. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I hope this was a good episode, informative for someone that's looking to go solo to Walt Disney World or Disneyland.
Maybe they just needed something to help them to convince them that that's what they need to do, and this is what
just to take a chance.
I don't know how informative it was, but if maybe they could just be like, well, I heard this on a podcast, and I'm going to give it a try.
Well, they could do a short one too. You know what I haven't done, which I really want to do? Well, I don't know if I want to do it. Cruise solo. I haven't done a cruise solo. Yeah. I don't know if I'd like a cruise solo.
I think a cruise solo would be okay.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But, I mean, maybe we could just do a short one.
We could go on a cruise, and you could get your own room, and I could get my own room, and we could pretend we're sort of solo, but, like, we're not solo. So we can have dinner together, but then we can pretend we don't know each other for the rest of the day.
So Carrie doesn't have to just sit and stare at her food. I'm going to come have dinner with her. Then I'll see you in the shops. I'll see you at the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, because we've got to get on the Wish.
Sure, we do.
I have nothing booked, but I might just have to look last minute and see what's available. Yes.
Okay, we got to stop. It's 50 minutes. This is a long time
people,
for
I know.
Talking about why you should go on a trip by yourself. Because you get to pick your room, pick your times, pick your flights.
It's the freedom. What is it? Freedom.
Freedom. I think of George Michael.
Oh my gosh. I think of Braveheart. You think of George Michael. Yes, we are yin and yang. Well, okay. Thank you for listening. And if you feel like it, you could leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send us your questions, other topics that you want to maybe inspire a podcast episode. Thanks again for listening.
Bye-bye.
See you next week. Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.